this is Grandpa. Today we're going to learn how to make these letter blocks using cardboard boxes. And we're going to go over the supplies you'll need. Let's start off first by, you'll need to purchase these boxes. In this example, we'll be using a 12 by 12 by 12 box. You'll need some kind of straight edge. You want to use a pencil. In this example, I'll be using a pen to allow you guys to see the outlines and follow the progress a little easier. You'll need some kind of cutter. In this case, I'm using a box cutter. Normally, I use a X-Acto knife. You'll need your glue gun, some masking tape. In this example, we're going to be using the 8-inch alphabet and monogram paper stencils. I purchased these on Amazon. You'll need some kind of edge here, round edge, if you want to go with the round example, and I'll get into this later. You'll need some kind of brush, a smaller brush for the tighter corners, and also a wider brush in order to expedite the painting. You'll need some type of paint. In this example, we'll be using acrylic. And we'll go over on how to make your jig. It'll all make sense later. I almost forgot one of the important items. You'll need some kind of paper, thicker stock, something that it's not as flimsy as your regular paper. This is your regular paper, too flimsy, a little bigger. If you're making your letters 12 by 12 by 12 like I am doing, you'll need something wider. This was taken from a sketch pad. Now that the glue gun is ready, let's get started. First thing, we're going to assemble the box. You'll notice that we have printing on this flap here. So these will go in. You don't want them to show. So, and you also want to preserve your nice 90-degree angles here. So pay attention when you're gluing it. First thing, let's go ahead and apply glue to the flaps here. And I like to apply pressure from the other end to get a nice adhesion, to get a nice squeeze here. Okay. Next flap. Okay, that looks good. Let's follow the same format. So this flap is on top, so I'm going to put this flap also over these here. So let's apply more glue here. If you're having problems having the flaps connect, I use a little stick to help me push the flaps up. Okay, that's it for the box. Let's move on to the jig. This is the jig we'll be making. Let's flip it this way so you can see it. It's a 12 by 12 all the way around, and this will be the insert. And within here, any letter stencil will fit. And let's get started on the process. Since my boxes are 12 inches by 12 inches, I'm gonna take my straight edge and create a 12 by 12 square. Here's my 12 inches. And let's get 12 inches going the other way. Okay, now we're gonna take our cutter and eliminate what we don't need. Okay, here you have a 12 by 12 now. Next thing I'm gonna do now is I want to, since I know this is 12 by 12, I want to get the center. So that'll be 6 inches. We're marking the center on all sides. It'll make more sense later. And I'm going to go ahead and draw a line. The next thing I want to do is figure out how thick I want my edges to be. In other words, how thick do you want this here? Since I got 8-inch letters from here to here, that's 8 inches, I want to leave a nice little gap there all the way around. The width here of the letter is going to vary from letter to letter, so what's consistent is 8 inches from here to here, so this is what you want here. So let's figure out what that'll be. If I go for 1 inch and an eighth, it'll give me this nice width here, and it'll allow me to have an inch spacing between the letter and the border. So let's go for an inch and an eighth. Let's take it from here. And let's just draw that line there. Again, that's an inch and 1/8. Now you could go with thicker lines or lighter lines, but I think this gives it a nice balance. Okay, so we got our border. I like to put this nice little radius here. If you notice, I have a nice little radius here, a little rounded edge. You could get creative and use a compass and figure out the angles and center it. I did a little cheating where I basically went out and I found something around the house using this corner here. In fact, this is a little guy. That's my grandson. And I'm making these for his birthday. So anyhow, apply this to your jig to get the nice little corners here. So there's the first one. Okay, we're done with that. The next thing you want to do is take your stencil. Let's see, we're going to go ahead and go with the letter T. Same with this. Let's figure out what the measurements are here because you want to get the center as well. So these are 7.5 by 9. Okay, to figure out the center of this here, you could hit and miss, go back and forth. You could just take your calculator, and since we have here 9, so take 9 divided by 2 equals 4.5. So you need to mark 4.5 inches on the long side. So there's 4.5. And let's get the other side. And going this way, I said it was 7.5, so let's figure out what that is. So we have 7.5 divided by 2 equals 3.75, so it's 3 3/4, so that's going to be 3 inches and 3/4. Okay, now we have our center. So now what I'm going to do is scribe a line right dead center. Let's just do this section here. There's a center there, and we have other center over here. Let's find this dead center here. You want all your lines to line up.
Military smoke screens are not classified as a chemical weapon. However, what military ethics call common smoke is used to carry out for tear gas.
Yeah, this looks pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my pen and outline this section here. By doing this here, you'll be able to take any of the stencils and just drop them in here once it's cut out. Okay, that looks good. This we can remove now. I like to save the inserts for a different project. Make letters somehow. So this will be the insert once it's cut out. So we're going to cut out this section here, and we're also going to cut out the other section. So I like to use magazines lying around the house. In this case, I'll use this magazine so I don't cut through this paper and get into the kitchen island. So first things first, let's cut out the center. Okay, we're done with that. Now what I'm going to do here to stay consistent with this whole thing here is I'm going to label what is the top. So in this case, I'll just put top, top, top. So when I assemble the jig together, I know exactly everything lines up correctly. The next thing I want to do is I want to cut out this second section here. So let's first cut out the straight lines. I need to stop here. So I want to start there, and I want to end here. Next, I'm going to start there, and I want to end right here. Start, end. If you don't do this here, chances are very good that you're going to go past this section. You're going to kick yourself in the rear. And last side. Okay, that looks good. Now on the next one here, it probably would have worked better. In fact, it will work better if you have an X-Acto knife. But this will do the trick here. So we want to go follow your outline here. Okay, and that was easy. And let's move on to the next one. On this here, I like to go with one pass, because if you do multiple passes, chances are you're going to basically not follow the original line you're creating, the original cut. So I'm applying here a little more pressure than I did when I did the straight edge. Okay, there we go. So, we got 1, 2, and 3. Now, let me show you how to apply these to the box now. Okay, let's change the angle here for better viewing. Now, what you want to pay attention to is the top and the bottom. It doesn't really matter which way the letters point, but the sides, you want your letters all pointing in the same direction. So, in this case, I'm going to have my T situated all the way around, facing the same direction. So let's get ready on the first one. So first one to do is insert this baby here. The first part, you're going to take your masking tape, I like to put a little fold on the tape here, which will allow me to remove it as I rotate around the box. This box is not a true 12 by 12, a little bigger, doesn't matter, just center it more or less. Apply this here. Then you're going to take your pencil, but in this case, again, we're using a pen in order to allow you to view this a little better. Okay, that one's done. And then you're going to go ahead and drop in the next section into your template here, or your jig. On this one here, you're not going to scribe anything. This is just to hold this in place and allow you to center it. Be very careful with the thinner sections, for instance, the connection right here. You just want to take your time doing this section. Okay, we're done with the first one. There you go. Now, I'm going to pause the video now, and I'm going to go around and create the T's on all sections. Then we'll jump over to the painting. Okay, I'm done scribing letters on all sides. The top section here, you might end up with a gap like I did here, but just go ahead and take your pencil, what have you, and continue the lines right through the little gap there. So when you're painting, you have something to follow. You don't have to do that. If you have a good steady hand, you'll be fine. So we're going to move on to the painting now. I'm using this acrylic, kind of a, doesn't really matter, cadmium red, and applying it to my tray. And we're going to go ahead and start. For me, it's easier for me to start in the inside and move my way towards the outer edges, so that way I don't overlap and get paint all over myself. So the finer brush here, smaller, I use it to get the tighter corners here, or not necessarily corners, but the edges. You could go with 2 coats of paint if you like on the ones I've created for my grandson. I just went with 1 coat of paint. Now, this is a great idea to use these blocks to decorate someone's room. In our case, we're using these for my grandson's first birthday. His theme for his birthday is Toy Story. So I was assigned this task by his mom which was a fun project. After the party, I'm just going to give these boxes to blocks here to my grandson to play with. The paint I used was non-toxic. And I believe acrylic is also non-toxic, so it's safe to use around children, especially those young ones that love to put things in their mouth. And this acrylic paint dries really quick. By the way, this is a flat brush. It's a number 4. And let me kind of share this with you. And this came from a brush of artist brushes. I guess Darcy artist brushes. I picked them up on eBay. Take that back, Amazon. Now, if you use a pencil, chances are very good you won't be able to see the pencil lines, provided you go over it with the paint. And I like the way this looks once it dries because the cardboard absorbs the paint nicely, so you get a nice flat look. We tried making boxes using, letter boxes using white boxes. They're a little more expensive, the boxes, but at the end of the day, my wife did not like the look, so we opted to go with the brown cardboard. It looks more like wood versus a white box. Okay, that's done. Now we're gonna move to the outside. Now, you could continue with this size brush to get a nice edge, or you could just go ahead and jump right into the bigger brush. I got a pretty steady hand, so I'm pretty comfortable using the larger brush. And what I like to do is take my brush and have it dance to the edge of the line here, then back up. This is a nylon brush, and it's made by professionals, artists, brushes.com. And I think I got these on Amazon as well. I think I get everything on Amazon. And you want to ensure that your brush has a nice flat edge. You don't want a brush that's constantly losing the hairs, and you're going to get hairs adhering to your paint there. Maybe take care of your brush, it'll last you for years. I've had this brush for, I think, 7 years already. Well, this side here is already dried. And now, I could just move on. Now, for our display, my grandson's name is DeLuca, so it's going to be 6 blocks tall, so therefore 6 feet. And out in the park, it might be windy, so what I'm going to do is apply Velcro strips between the boxes in order so they could stay together, and find a way to maybe anchor the last box at the bottom, maybe fill it with sand or put something in there that's going to prevent it from tipping over. Now, what you want to do now is just repeat this for all sides, and then you're done. So I'm going to pause it now and return once I've completed all sides. Okay, I'm done with this box here. Some of the sides still may be wet, but you can see how I came out. And I haven't quite decided if I will spell out Toy Story. I think it might be an overkill having enough blocks already. Let me stack them up and show you what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to stack them up here. My grandson's name is DeLuca, so I'm thinking of the A. I may open the box and put a sandbag in there just to help anchor this down in case we get a windy day. I'm also thinking of using this Velcro. Get Velcro strips and cutting squares and placing them on dead center so I could stack them up and the tower will not tip on me. Okay. And there you go. Now, if I use the Velcro, I could also offset them like this here. which will probably look pretty cool. Oh. But for something like this, I'll definitely need the Velcro. So, thank you for viewing. If you like the videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe.